Okay, in this question, it's asking the primary purpose of this passage is to. So basically, what's this entire thing about? Um, well, this question should actually be the last one you answer after you've answered all the line questions. So hopefully you've done 11 through 15 on this page, and then come back to this one. So at that point, you should have a much better idea of what the whole thing's about. If not, you can read the passage and try to get an idea of what it's about anyway. So let's go through the answers and talk about why each answer is either correct or for our correct answer, or why it's not correct, and how we can get rid of all these answers. So in A, it says, show the impact Black Americans have had on African societies. It seems right. It seems right when you read it the first time, but we have to be very careful. This whole thing is about the relationship between Black Americans and Black Africans. And the relationship is kind of a two-way street, right? Black Africans have had an impact on Black Americans, and Black Americans have had an impact on Black Africans. Now, A sounds like it's very one-sided. Show the impact Black Americans have had on African societies. And it's not really talking about Black Africans, right? It's just talking about African societies in general. So I don't like A for that reason. B says, discuss Africans' efforts to embrace American culture. Again, not specific enough. It's not talking about Black Africans and Black Americans. It's talking about Africans and Americans in general. And it's, again, one-sided. Discuss Africans' efforts to embrace American culture and not the other way around. So I don't like B for that reason. C says, point out the ambivalent feelings one community has for another. Now, ambivalent means like mixed feelings. And there are instances here where maybe it seems like they have mixed feelings, but in the end, I think the conclusion is pretty strongly positive, right? So if I read the last sentence of the passage, it says, and when we have reached out to one another through literature, politics, music, and religion, whenever we've made contact, the world has been forced to take note, right? That doesn't seem like mixed feelings on each other, so I don't think it's C. And then D says, emphasize the significance of an ongoing relationship. Well, it's pretty general, but it's not missing the fact that it's Black Africans and Black Americans, because it does cover that. And then if I look at the italicized words above the passage, the last sentence says, here he offers his view on the historical relationship between Black Americans and Black Africans, which seems to be almost exactly emphasize the significance of an ongoing relationship. So D is looking pretty good. And let's look at E. Examine the cultural ties between two nations. Again, you might have been thinking about that one, but remember, it's not two nations, right? It's not two countries here. It's the relationship between two groups of people, Black Americans and Black Africans, right? So the reason I don't like E is for that two nations, right? So I think the best answer here is actually D.